Hi, and today we're gonna be seeing different clips and seeing how car prices have gone up over the years and how dealerships are actually scamming you out of your money. I mean, car prices have gone up in such a way that since 2020, like cars are very absurd. And I know that COVID-19 happened like 5 years ago, but the problem is that the car prices have gone up for more than 10% of increase, and as a result of that, salaries are unable to keep up in terms of the car pricing. On the other hand, we have inflation and the food prices are going up, and us as consumers were the ones who are actually suffering. And most of our consumers, how they're trying to deal with this is through buying cars which are on the used market, which is one way to deal with it. But the other way to deal with it is that manufacturers, they need to start decreasing their prices and actually make cars that are actually worth it, and stop giving people screens and gimmicks such as LED lights in order to justify their prices. I mean, it's no joke that the quality of cars has decreased. So let's go through these videos so that we can actually see how dealerships are screwing you up in terms of your car payments or your purchase price, and also in terms of how car prices have already increased and how it's affecting consumers today. So let's get on with it.
Today, I'm going to tell you the top 4 sleazy tricks that dealerships use in order to take advantage of you when you're car shopping. Stay tuned. Hi, my name's Bill. I'm a car buying expert and I love saving you money at the dealership. The first thing I'm going to warn you guys about is dealership accessories or add-ons at the dealership when you're getting the final out the door price. Now, whether you go to the dealership or take my advice and call the dealership to get the final numbers, if you ever see add-ons on there, tell the dealership no way. It's very important to know what add-ons look like. A lot of you guys ask me what kind of fees should be on the final paperwork and how do I know what's not supposed to be on there. So I'm going to throw this up here real quick. Guys, this is basically a breakdown on a Nissan Armada, and you can clearly see on the top all of the add-ons and all of the extras. And if you scroll a little bit further down, you get to see all the fees that should traditionally be on final paperwork. Those are all normal fees. If you do accept all the add-ons and you don't say anything about it, then they're going to make a ton more profit. And if you don't accept them and you argue and get them to take that off of the price, now you're probably not going to argue about the actual price, which is what most people intended on arguing or negotiating in the first place. Number 2 is any dealership that insists that you finance with them. They give you a discount on the vehicle if you do finance with them, but you have to pay full price, which is usually an inflated price if you don't finance with them. Or people paying cash. If you don't use their financing and you come out of pocket for the vehicle, they make you pay the inflated price. Any dealership that leverages you into using their financing is doing so because of the obvious. They make a ton of money on financing. Most dealerships make more money off the financing than they do off the front end profit margin of the sale of the vehicle. Let's say you love the vehicle and you want to buy it, but the dealership has this kind of thing in place and you don't want to use their financing. You know they're going to jack the rate up. Simply agree to the discount, agree to the financing, and then ask the finance manager if there's any prepayment penalty. Typically, most lenders don't have that anymore. You could walk out the door, call your lender, and before your first payment is due on the loan that the dealership got you, you could have it refinanced with your own lender and the better interest rate, thus capitalizing on the discount and the rate. Number 3, this is an easy one, but I've been hearing it a lot, guys. Dealerships asking people to run their credit to get the out the door price. So let's say you ask the dealership, hey, I'd like to know what everything comes to with taxes and fees. And the dealership rebuttals and says, well, we'd have to run your credit and see what kind of credit score you have to be able to tell you the final price. This is bullshit. This is lies. You would only run your credit when you agree on the final price. Then and only then would you run your credit to find out the interest rate. If you get the best price and you get the best interest rate, you have the best possible monthly payment you can get. Number 4 is a no-brainer, at least in my opinion. I call dealerships all day long for my clients nationwide, and probably 50% of the dealerships I talk to tell me they can't give me pricing over the phone. I'd have to come in to get that kind of information. And all that dealership is telling me when they say that is, we plan on taking advantage of you. We don't want you to see that there's better pricing out there, so we do everything in-house. We have a better closing rate if we do so. Typically, what I found is the dealerships that have the add-ons and the ones that are trying to take advantage of you on the price, they're playing games, smoke and mirrors, the advertised price has a bunch of disclaimers. Those are the ones that don't want to give you the number over the phone because they know once they tell you that bullshit over the phone, they're never going to see you again. This business is just begging for transparency, and the more that me and you reward good dealerships with our business, the more business we're taking away from the bad dealerships. So guys, do yourself a solid, call every dealership first, do everything from home, and don't accept anything but the best deal.
This guy is very correct. Dealerships will do whatever it takes in order to scam you and get the most out of your pocket. I mean, dealerships are in the business of making money, and the first mistake that you can ever do as a consumer is to think that the dealerships are trying to be your friend. They're not trying to be your friend as much as they're busy smiling at you, giving you coffee and biscuits and whatever to try to soften you up so that whatever that they say, most of the things should go over your head and you don't even consider. I mean, if the dealerships wants to add accessories on your car, you need to decide whether do you want these accessories or maybe they find that they are cheaper aftermarket. I mean, in my location there's very absurd prices, especially for the privacy tint. You find that they're charging so much in terms of that privacy section. I mean, dealerships will do whatever it takes for something that costs $50 or whatever currency in your car in your country. Dealerships can charge you more than $100. I mean, dealerships don't care about you. And in terms of finances, I know that BMW and also Mercedes-Benz, I think even Audi, it wants to adopt that thing of indoor finance, but the finance usually goes up to 48 months. And I mean, that sort of finance they want to approve you. So I'll also encourage for those who want to do finance to actually go and do your own finance outside. I mean, you may find that you can get a better deal elsewhere outside of the dealership, because dealerships, they don't care. And also, whenever that you get a finished amount in terms of how much they want to charge you in terms of the sticker price, you need to check that price and actually compare in terms of how much is a MSRP in terms of the car, in terms of on the market, whether new or used, depending on what car you are buying. Then you know whether are you getting a good deal or the dealership is trying to screw you over.
We are completely fucking screwed. Take a look at this. I never thought I'd see the day where a 2025 Honda Accord would be over $25,000, and I'm talking about loaded every single option. Take a guess at how much this is. $40,000 for a 2024 Honda Accord Hybrid Touring. Yes, I know it's completely loaded, but the price just makes no sense for a Honda. And this isn't the only one. Look at all of these 2024, $40,000. It's insane. $40,000 for a Honda Accord. There's so many other vehicles that you could go ahead and grab other than a Honda Accord. And to top it off, $40,000 for a vehicle that looks like this. That's a shame. There's so many other alternatives and options that you could pick from. Honestly, for $40,000, if you're looking for a full-size sedan, I'd honestly go with the Genesis because it looks way better than this. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I think this vehicle is a complete L, and I feel like they're going to be sitting on a whole bunch of inventory come soon, and prices are going to have to drop.
If you want a good example of car inflation, in July 2015, the Skoda Superb range started at $28,995. February 2025, 10 years later, $49,365. That is a 70% increase in the price since 2015.
How President Donald Trump's tariffs on car imports will impact the auto industry.
New analysis shows levies could lead to the sharpest decline in vehicle sales since the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. Arnetia Hahn joining us now in studio with advice for people who are trying to get ahead of the tariffs by purchasing a vehicle now.
Yeah, a vehicle is a big investment, and if you know you'll need a new or used car within the next few months, it is a good idea to buy now. But that doesn't mean you should panic and rush your decision. It is more important than ever you do your homework and buy wisely.
So imagine a car price increasing by more than 70%. I mean, how many of us have actually gotten a salary increase that's at least 50%, even if you're moving from company to company? That's nearly impossible unless if your current company was actually underpaying you to a point that when you move to the other company, they actually recognize your worth and actually offered you more. I mean, I don't know how these car manufacturers actually justify the car increase. I know that now we're actually prioritizing in terms of safety features, which are actually nice to have. I mean, especially blind spot monitoring. It's very nice to have, especially when you are driving on the highway and you don't see a car coming on your shoulder, and you can actually get some sense of safety. That's all nice to have, but how do you justify a 50% increase in terms of the prices from 2015 until now? I mean, even Toyota now is joining the bandwagon. We know that Toyota back in the days used to sell cars which were affordable for consumers and everybody could afford to have a Toyota, but now even the Toyotas are very expensive. Even a simple Toyota Corolla, you're gonna need to cough up so much money. I don't even know how all these manufacturers are justifying this. I mean, salaries are not keeping up, and on top of that we have Donald Trump, who's doing some useless tariffs, and now even the cars which were affordable, now they're not going to be affordable. Because I mean, in order for cars to be affordable now because of tariffs, it's either they are produced in your country, if not you're gonna pay a lot more. Because for example, we have the BMW X3 that's currently produced in South Africa. So if you are someone whether from the USA or Canada and you want to buy that car and you're gonna import it from another country because it was assembled in another country, just know that you're gonna pay import tariffs for a car that was supposed to be affordable.
This is how car dealerships are screwing you over and you don't even know about it. Car dealerships are basically designed to squeeze every last penny out of you. In fact, studies have shown that dealerships tend to charge people of color more than white folks. They also found that older people tend to be charged at a higher price than younger people, especially older women. And here are some tactics to watch out for. Time scarcity. They might say that this is the last car on the lot and that someone will come pick it up tomorrow. So if you want it, you need to buy it right now. And this is a tactic used to trigger our bias for loss aversion. Here's another tactic called the porcupine close. You might hear the salesperson say something along the lines of, if I can get you this red Honda today, would you buy the car today? And this tactic is used to trigger our bias to be consistent with what we've said. And finally, even after you've decided to purchase a car, the finance manager can still try to sell you add-ons that you don't need. And your best course of action is to be prepared to walk away.
Guys, this is one of the largest Chrysler dealerships down here. Look at it. It has all the brands other than Chrysler or Dodge or Ram. And on the other side, this is a Chevy dealership, which is supposed to have those Cadillacs here. And then if you look again on this side, Chrysler, which with the parent company of Stellantis, they have so many cars that they can stop production right now, and for the next 2 years they would still have cars, and they're not selling. So that's why they have to bring other brands to just compensate for the things that they can't sell. That's crazy, man. That's insane. That's honestly like...
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a question here. Hi, brother. I'm earning 7,000 per month. Can I qualify for a Polo TSI 1.1 or 1.2 with installment less than 3,000 rents? My brother, I'm inspired by your ambition there, wanting a TSI. But for now, I would advise you not to look at a TSI. Let's not look at a TSI for now, unless if you have some extra income. But here are cars that I can offer you around 3,000 rents. Yeah, so over here I've got a Polo Vivo, a nice Polo.
So in the midst of everything that we've heard in terms of how dealerships are screwing us over, in terms of how prices are increasing, in terms of how cars are not being sold, in terms of dealerships are just staying in the dealerships, I just wanted to end this video on a positive note in terms of this guy offering people advice, the ones who are not earning enough and still want to afford a car, so he's offering them alternatives in terms of cars. So kudos to this guy, and for those who are new to this channel, please consider to subscribe, and definitely I'll see you again on the next video. And you can share your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you same time, same place.